da da, la da 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 dee, la da 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 da. They still gon' hate.
I wish I had something to
No matter what I do, no matter what I do, they still gon' hate. People said I wouldn't be la da 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 dee. Tell me keep it coming. I hit the club, park ballet. No matter what I do.
Hey, darling, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, great. We're live. Hey,
Hey,
everybody. Welcome to the show, Conversations with Friends. I'm here with my friend, Heavymetal Trvp, and we're
what's up?
discussing music, his life, and we're going to do it in his own words. So,
Do
we
it.
were talking about the, 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 the background things as far as music was concerned,
Yeah,
the ups and downs, and how you're handling it mentally,
yeah.
how you get through life with how do you juggle? How do you juggle your personal life and your business life? You know,
That's actually oh no, that's hard. I mean, it's a continuous fight to juggle both. The way I've been coping with a lot of it is to continue to push towards my goal, like my big goal, and try to block out the noise. Try to block out
mhm,
the noise, but then what gets hard is when life hits you, when unexpected bills or unexpected tragedies or whatever. So I just try to block out a lot of noise and just zone in on whatever I'm doing. You know what I mean? And
mhm,
kind of make sure that whatever I'm doing, I'm not putting my emotions into the business, because
right.
it's very easy to put your emotions into the business, and um, that just it's not good for business. it's
No, it's
not
not.
it's,
No, it's not.
it's definitely
No.
not good for business, and although a lot of stuff might hurt you or make you feel a certain type of way. What I learned is in this industry, you're gonna have to deal with people that you necessarily don't like. So
And that's the problem. How do you see? That's the issue that I have.
yeah,
I can't. I don't know how to deal with negativity. It throws
yeah,
me off.
yeah.
It really does. So I was just trying to figure out, like when I talk to you, we talk on the phone a lot.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I'm trying to figure out, how do you take yourself out of your feelings, because it's hard for me. I have to admit that if I
yeah,
don't
yeah.
like a person's aura, I don't want to be close to them. I don't want to have anything to do with them. You know,
Um,
and I may be losing out.
yeah, no, I hear that. I definitely hear that.
So
Yeah,
that's my thing. I'm trying to figure out which way to go, because there are some things that I want to do for my daughter, but I want to make sure I'm doing it right, because there are a lot of sharks out there, man.
right, right,
And
right, right, right.
and the reason why I wanted to talk to you is because I know that you've been going through a lot.
Yeah, 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 for sure.
you know so and I just wanted, and you've been all around the world. You go on these tours and you deal with these different type of people,
Right.
and people that you never met, so you're taking these chances. So that's why I wanted to talk to you, and see if you can give some insight to these
Mhm.
kids that are doing it now.
Yeah,
What they can look out for, what are the pitfalls,
right, right,
and
right,
how
right,
you
right.
deal with that, because there are some personal things that go on in your life that can stop you
Yeah.
from having a successful
Oh yeah,
career.
no, for sure. Um, but dealing with people I don't like, I just try to look at because most people look at the surface. You know what I mean? They look at the surface and they see one thing and they're like, oh, I don't like that, and it might be something big that you don't like. You know what I mean? But then I ask myself, is dealing with this person beneficial? You know what I mean? Is this situation beneficial for both of us?
Hmm.
I mean, and then if it comes out that it might be beneficial for both of us, well, then I ask myself, well, how far am I willing to go? All money ain't good money. But if it isn't that bad, then that's when I kind of I just take I take walks. I go outside and I'll just walk like blocks for like maybe
Mm,
about 2 hours and just go. And I'll just during that time I'll just think to myself, just calm myself down, how I want to approach the situation. And and I try to reach out to my friends and have a conversation with them before I say anything uh, that could possibly make me look like a hole or whatever. Or
right.
like I try to check myself first. I try to check my ego and hone myself before I deal with someone that I don't necessarily like. But I've found more often than not, you're probably gonna have to deal with people that you don't like. So yeah,
Yeah, that's the slippery slope,
right,
because it starts out in pieces, like a relationship.
right,
You don't see that this is bad. You say, "Oh well, that's just a little hiccup," you know, and you look over it, and the next thing you know, you somewhere in a ditch because you thought that was just a hiccup when that was the plan all the
right.
time. Because you have people like if you look at the art, well, I'm gonna bring it up, the R. Kelly thing.
Mm,
Before the story came out,
yeah,
that he was going to be hemmed up like he is now.
right,
Remember when they had people that was breaking into his mansions while he was on tour and cleaning them out? These were friends of 25 years.
mm-hmm,
Okay, so you never know. That's why I don't know if it's good to have extended people around in your circle because they know you, they know your every move. So there's so many things you have as an artist and as a person have to look out for.
right,
You know,
right,
and
right,
that's the thing that scares me for a lot of these artists, especially girls.
right. Oh yeah, yeah.
The girls catch, I mean, catch it.
No, it's hard. It's hard
I
for the
didn't
women.
I didn't realize there was so many sharks in the water, and it is bad for women. So if it's
Yeah,
bad
it's
for
hard.
women, I didn't know. I know how bad it is for women. I didn't know what the men are going through. I
Mm,
wanted to get it from your perspective of what you
yeah.
have to deal with on a daily basis, trying to get to a certain level as far as music was concerned.
Um, wow. I mean, well, the women is hard. Like, the women is hard. And I think we talked about this before because, uh, what typical what people do with women in the industry is try to keep them in the dark as long as they can, and then just string them along just because they maybe have a pretty face or a body, or something like that. And they don't really tell you, hey man, you could do this, you could do that, you can do that. Nowadays, more women are starting to find ways to thrive in this industry. I mean, you see
Mm,
it with City Girls. Even though I'm not really feeling it right now, Meg Thee Stallion,
right.
and there's a couple other women that's really doing their thing, Lotto and etc. So they are starting to find out how to really maneuver around this industry. Shout out to Cardi B. I think she has a big part in that because before Cardi B, I think it was just Nicki. Nicki was just the one that you just had to go to, and now you got so many, so it's dope. They're finding their way around. With men, it's crazy on our part too, because a lot of the times it's egos involved.
Oh
So
yes, definitely,
yeah,
definitely.
most of the time it feels like a penis swinging contest. Like this guy got talent, this guy got accolades, but then most of the time, like an artist like me, like I have talent, I have accolades, I have some of the stuff that these guys have, but because I'm not in their inner circle, uh,
Mm,
and I didn't come up doing finessing with them or building something with them. It's kind of like, oh no, they just shut you out. They just shut you out. I don't want to hear that. I don't want to do this. I don't want to, and it's hard because they make you go above and beyond. You know what I mean? And what I mean by that is, like they make you because you're a man. They feel like they can talk to you any kind of way. They can treat you any kind of way. You got to react to certain situations in a certain kind of way, and in all those small subtle details, most of the time we don't even notice that we're making mistakes with
Mm.
what we're doing because
Let
we're
me
not
ask you a
thinking.
quick
Yeah, go
question.
ahead.
You just said you have to act a certain way. Do
Yeah.
you find it harder to be a black man on top of having to act a certain way, being an artist?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Because we just can't act any kind of way. I mean, rest in peace to my great grandmother. She raised me to have manners. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? And my grandmother is also humble, and she would tell me the one of my biggest downfalls is I had a big heart, and
You can't
because I
get you
would
in trouble.
always like to help people and all that, and it is just nah, like you in this industry, you can't be super nice, like you can't, because as soon as you be super nice, people walk right over you,
Yeah, they
you
definitely
know,
will. That
and
without a doubt, without a doubt.
yeah, so I just try to I try to balance that. I mean, nowadays I'm a little bit, I would say mean. I'm just more blunt these days. I
Mm-hmm.
just, I just get straight to the point, and that's how I carry myself. When I'm talking to anyone, it doesn't matter, industry exec or not.
Mm-hmm.
I get straight to the point because if I give them an inch, they'll take them out.
Have you found out what your breaking point is as far as the music is concerned and dealing with people? Because I found my breaking point. I know what my breaking point is.
But
I don't like
uh,
to be talked down to. I don't like people to think that.
okay, well, something
Yeah,
like stuff like that.
yeah.
Um, my breaking point in this industry is just sneaky, just sneaky stuff, like sneaky stuff when it comes to back end. That
Mm-hmm.
is when I started to lose my cool because it's not like all of this stuff is secrets. I mean, I know everybody want to like believe there's a secret to this, and like no, there's no secret. So when these guys or women, when they're doing business with you and they try to hide stuff in the back end, that is the most irritating thing you can ever do, because to me, uh, now that I understand the value of what we're doing exactly,
Mm-hmm.
it's adding up in my head. When you're doing the sneaky stuff, it's adding up. I'm counting this
Right.
little cents all the way up into whatever dollar amount. I'm counting it all the way up, and I'm saying, wow, so you really was just gonna let it go all the way there without saying nothing, huh? And that is what, you know I've been working on a lot lately. I have to
Okay.
literally like calm myself down. Like I told you, I have to go take walks, stuff
Right.
like that. Because it's easy to, call them, and then where we come from. It's like you want to snap on
Oh
somebody
yeah.
right off the rip.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Definitely.
you want to snap, and then I'm a fighter. My mama tell you, I'm a fighter. I've been fighting all my life up until maybe probably about 18, and then I stopped because I got locked up that year. But
That'll do it.
the first thing I like to do when I get upset is I don't even want to talk. You know what I mean? Like I just
Right.
want to throw my hands. So I've been trying to work on that. Uh, um, as much as possible, because these people will take it there. They will take it to the point to where it is um it's so personal that it just can't be fixed with a simple conversation. There's all this extra shit that has to go on. So yeah, I mean that has got to be the number one thing to me, is just bad business, sneaky stuff, sneaky behind the scenes stuff.
But then you have those people that I have noticed, like when I first heard your music, we had the little back and forth thing, because you are the only artist that I really take my time and listen to
Yeah.
your music now, because you explained it to me, and my daughter told me to lighten up some. The only reason why I gave you such a hard time because I didn't want you to fall into the trap.
Uh
It just sounds crazy, you know,
yeah.
uh, the trap of using a certain thing to cover up your real talent.
We talk about Autotune.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I like what you have to say,
Yeah.
but the only thing about listening to Autotune, I don't like when I have to listen too hard.
Mm.
You know,
Um. Okay. So
you know, you understand what I'm saying when I'm
no,
saying,
no. I
okay,
hear exactly what you're saying.
you have the Autotune is so hard and heavy that I have to try to figure out what you're saying, and
Right.
and you know, it shouldn't be a test. I
Yeah.
should be able to easily hear you and get your point of view, and maybe I can feel something.
No, I hear that. I
Okay.
can definitely see it because even when I'm listening to it, sometimes I always think about that. I'm like, can they hear what I'm saying? Because if they can't
Mhm.
hear what I'm saying, then what I'm saying is pointless. And I just had
Right.
an argument about that the other day. But I always think about that. And I guess it's an acquired taste. I mean, for me personally, like I've been listening to people use Autotune. I mean, it goes back to T-Pain, yeah. But then when I start thinking about,
You know,
Zach,
T Pain did not originate.
well, no, that's what I was about to say. When
He
I go
fucked it
back to
up.
like
He
Zach
he,
and
he,
Roger,
he overused it. He fucked it up,
yeah,
and now you got these people that really can't rap use it. No, seriously, these people that really have nothing to say
yeah,
use it as a cover because it's what people were trying to make it say. It's on its own genre. No, it's not.
because it
No, it's
makes it
not.
a little, it makes it pop out a little bit more. But see, me when I'm looking at it, I go back to Zapp and Roger. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
I go back to Zapp and Roger, African Bambaataa. I go back to those days where they were actually when they were using it like the actual tube, and they had the
Yeah, right. They
yeah,
had the actual little clear
yeah,
tube.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Too.
yeah.
Now you brought his name up, and I keep hearing this guy's name, and not in a good way. Who is African Bambaataa? I
What?
have, and I'm from the hood. I have
What?
no
You
idea.
don't remember that? Planet Rock. You don't remember that?
Rock, Planet Rock.
Yes, that's African
That's who that
Bambaataa.
is.
Yes.
A one-hit wonder.
Man, I can't say that because there's some people that might disagree, but that is the one that everybody knows him from. Yeah, that's the one.
So I was like, I'm 59. Oh Jesus, that is old.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's
Now I'm gonna tell you something else that amazes me as far as the artists are concerned. You can put out one song, one, and ride that joker for the rest of your life.
oh yeah, yeah. Yeah, because nowadays it's all about the content that you can pull from it.
Hmm.
And this is where what you're saying in your music matters because what you're saying in your music, if you could continue, that's why I like to write a double entendres. That's why I like to make people think when they hear my songs, because if you could take that and turn it into a movie or a commercial or a video game or just a slideshow of pictures, stuff like that, it just brings out content. Nowadays people use TikTok, so they like to use that in their skits. They like to do the dances and all that. But it's basically, if you can take your song and make a lot of content out of that, you can survive off of one song for the rest of your life. And that's what you're seeing with a lot of these guys. Like they have whole bodies of work. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? Like they get whole bodies of work, a couple albums, 2, 3 albums, and then for the rest of their life, LL will always have a show.
Always,
Like he will
always.
always have a show, and there's a couple people that at the very beginning, that will always have. I mean, the Wailers from Bob Marley and them they still tour every year,
Hmm.
and they always have a show. So,
Right.
um, it that, but then to me, sometimes it feels like your catalog just has to be nice too as well, like because most people do shoot for that one song and just be like, yo, I just want that one and that's it. But that catalog, when I think about the greats, I'm thinking about James Brown, I'm thinking
Hmm.
about Michael Jackson, the Bob Marleys, like people who got catalog and you can put that thing on and just let it run, and,
And
and
just let it go.
yeah, and
Right.
for sure every song is gonna be nasty. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
it's
I
gonna be
feel
good.
like the word icon and things like that have been dumbed down. I don't think that these new artists have the uh, longevity
Yeah,
to be called icons. People, and
I feel that. I feel
You
that. And you
may
know why? You
you
know
may
why?
not feel the
Because
same way, but I feel like a Cardi B, she's good now. What's her name? She had her time. What is her name? Nicki Minaj.
Nicki Minaj.
Even now with the Megan Thee Stallion.
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool, but you're not an icon. Your music is not iconish. Um, when I'm sad, you're not a song that I'm going to go put on. If I'm
Okay.
happy, extremely happy, you're not a song that I'm going to go put on.
Right.
Um, they just don't have that longevity. And to me, after the some of the '80s music, some of the maybe a couple of people in the '90s, you can call them icons for their generation, I guess.
Yes, that's what I was about to say. Yeah, like for Cardi and them, they won't be at that level that you're talking about until I don't know,
But
2030.
who's going to play WAP in 50 years?
The kids will. They'll remember TikTok. They'll be like, "Hey, I remember TikTok and all
Oh,
that." Oh
okay,
yeah, the youngest will. Like just
okay,
because we grow up from it, they don't mean nothing. They finna be talking about their memories they had on TikTok and all, and that's cool. You know what I'm saying? I let them have it because I don't want to be a like, you know what I
right,
mean? I do it because I know if you don't do it, you just gonna get washed out. You know what I mean?
right,
But
right.
because it's really just hating on their generation, but I don't
And I
want to be
try
a
not
part
to
of
be
that.
that. I try not to be that person. It's just that the music has been dumbed down so badly.
Yeah, I mean, to your point though, your initial point, I do agree with that because it's almost like the significance of being creative is no longer there.
Right.
Everybody's just trying to do what's hot just to get trending, just to make money off of these social media platforms, and they don't even understand that these social media platforms is making y'all work like 9 to 5. So I mean, I mean,
Being
so I
honest.
mean, if that's what you want to do, I mean, you got McDonald's, you got all this other stuff. You know what I mean? You got
Right.
all this other stuff out here. That's 9 to 5. You want to work a 9 to 5 on Facebook or YouTube or whatever. Like, nah, build your own pyramids, man.
You
Like,
know,
you know
because
what I
I
mean?
had to think about it. I had to think about it because even in my situation, playlist promotion started out as just something for me to do, because I can't work physically anymore.
Yeah.
With all the ailments, and we won't even get into that. But Jazz set up the page for me to just play a game on Facebook because I wasn't even on Facebook. So if it had not been for her, I wouldn't even be doing that. So I started out just a promote, just to throw her songs out that she was doing here in Pennsylvania, with this group. And when the group broke up, I said, "Well, I'm still going to have something to do." So to your point, you have to be able to change up.
Hmm.
I said, "Well, I like these independent artists. I like pushing their music. So maybe I'll stay around." And that's when playlist promotions came up. But then
Nice.
I had to change the spelling because there are too many playlist promotions out
Yeah,
there.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but right now I'm the only one out there with the name spelled the way it is right now. So
Uh-huh. Oh,
which
gee.
is cool.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
made my own lane,
There
and
you
then
go.
after, and here's another adjustment. See, when we're talking about how life will throw you a different way.
Right,
When we said we are going to do a podcast, it was just going to be me and my daughter talking about mother and daughter issues,
right.
her music, and then talking about music in general. But then after she passed away, okay, now you're going to have to be the face of it. You're going because with me being ill, she was going to be the one that actually went to while she was performing. She could interview artists and see how they're doing.
Right.
Reach out. But now I have to physically do it, and I have to put my face out
Yeah.
there. And I don't have the face that Jazz has. So now I'm still telling something.
Nah,
Ooh, girl,
come on.
are you sure you want to do that? Because Jazz was traffic stopping. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I have sat in amazement and just watched her. That's another. I want to talk about your relationship with your parents too.
Hey, okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because the relationship, we fought for our relationship.
Right.
And I mean, that's her being a mini me and being more of me than I thought she was, but to an extreme. So you know how hard it is to fight with somebody that has your exact mentality.
Yeah, yeah,
You know,
yeah.
so that's how we physical fights. Yeah, we've had them.
Wow.
No, seriously, we have been. I got her neck and she's got mine. You know, but couldn't nobody else step in there because this is us dealing with us.
Right.
So how was the relationship with you and your parents?
So my relationship with my like when I was young, um, I was bad. I said it a little earlier. I was fighting all the time. I was
Yeah, you told
always
me.
fighting. But I was upset when I was early on. I was upset because I wanted to be like my dad. Like, but
Mhm.
I didn't really get to see him too much when I was young because he was in and out of the penitentiary. So that whole scenario, whatever, that started something in within me to like want to act out. Like I wanted to be like, you know what I'm saying? Like I wanted to be like that. And then when
Mm,
I finally came home, like he was doing, I got to see him do music. You know what I'm
okay.
saying? And then I was able to pick some up just from off of him and his homies. You know what I mean? And then that made me want to pursue music. And that kind of like as a kid, it kind of like it hurt my relationship with my mom a little bit because
Mm,
she didn't like that. She didn't like the fact that I wanted to be a rapper. I wanted to be just like him. You know what I'm saying? She like, nah, that ain't it. But now, fast forward, me and
uh-huh.
my mom, we have really, really good conversations.
Okay.
I actually call her before I make any big like business decision or anything because I know she has her master's degree. She
Right.
actually went to school and got her master's. So I call her and I ask her, hey, can I do this? Should I do this? Should I do that? And that's pretty much it. And then my dad, I haven't talked to him since I don't know. I tried reaching out, you know what I mean?
Has he heard the song? Has he
Yeah,
heard
no,
the
he heard it. He heard it. My uncle definitely let me know he heard it, and he felt a type of way about it. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
And
I would love to have been a fly on the wall when he heard that track.
I still want to talk to him about it. You know what I mean? Because I want to let him know, like, I ain't trying to make you out here looking bad. Like, cause even in the song, my father, I say he got his act right. He got his act together. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? He started doing it. But the purpose of me making the song was for other people that growing up like how he grew up to
Right.
not do the same thing. You get what I'm saying? Like, so that was, and also to teach him about some of my mistakes because I was making a lot of mistakes early on,
Mhm.
and it took for me to sit down at 18 to realize, like, dang, like, this ain't where I want to be at, bro. Like, straight up. And that's what put me on this path of where I'm on now. So,
So you
uh,
pulled yourself out of that. You
yeah,
actually had to
yeah,
come to the realization this is not the life that I want.
yeah,
But
yeah, not for
do
sure.
you realize that even with you doing that, you really didn't do that on your own? That was the teachings of your mother came through when you least expected it, because it was the same thing for Jazz when she was out there acting up. She said when she was getting ready to do the worst thing,
Yeah,
she thought about something I had said to her previously.
yeah,
When you think that your kids aren't listening,
yeah.
you guys are really listening. You just
Oh
doing
yeah,
what you want
yeah.
to do.
I was just saying that the other day to somebody. See, I had got raised by literally. See, we moved like army brats. So
Mm,
literally everybody in the family had to have one of the three out of my mom's. You know what
okay.
I mean? So we were just. It was grandma, grandpa, uncle, everybody get on you too, and it was just what I'm saying. Like I had to get lessons from each of them. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? Like, cause with my mom being always gone, I would learn a lot of stuff from her, mainly like her optimism and stuff like that. Like, cause she's very optimistic,
Mhm.
and then with like discipline, I learned that from like my grandfather, rest in peace. And he would say little things to me like I'm 12 years old. He say things like, no matter how you make that bed, you gotta lay in it, you
You sure?
know. And I'm 12 years old. I don't know what you're talking about. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm just, but I know what he's talking about now. I knew at 18. I knew what
But
he was talking. Yeah,
those conversations that you had back then as a child, they come back to you as an adult, especially in your most dire moment. I feel like, because there are certain things that my daddy said to me as a kid that I now like. You know what? I thought he was just drunk. And
Yeah,
he was really spitting some real facts out to
yeah.
me.
He dropped the bomb on you back then.
Oh, oh, oh! You have no bro, you have no idea some of the things my father has said to me. It's like you would think that okay, why are you talking like that to your kid, and
Yeah,
your daughter? But
yeah.
then when you think about it, it's like he was absolutely right.
He
Like
dropped the bomb on you.
he had this one thing he said to me. He said, I don't care. I was born on the south side of Chicago.
Yeah,
Okay. And he was like, I never knew that we were black and poor and unwanted. I never knew anything of that. I never knew
right.
that because everything I could walk around my neighborhood and it was good.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? It was good. We had
yeah.
our own stores, the bank, this, the
Hey,
even though the Black Stone Rangers was in full force, the
yeah.
black and red Tams, but I went to school. I walked to school by myself at age 4.
What?
You know what I
Let's
mean? And
go.
I lived in the hood with the
Let's
60,
go.
67 to
What?
East 10. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
I bet you wouldn't. And Jazz was supposed to go to my first school. I moved actually across the street from where I grew up. About when
yeah.
I had Jazz, and she was supposed to go my first. When she got ready to go to school, she was supposed to go my first elementary school. But we moved out to the city because the city got so bad to
Yeah,
raising
Chicago
children.
is.
In
Yeah.
93. Oh, by the time I had my daughter, it was time to go. It
I
was
don't
really
blame
time
you.
to go.
I don't
You know,
blame you.
yeah. So I mean, my father said to me, he said, "Charlene, I don't care what you want to do with your life. Just be the best of it. If you're going to be a hoe, be the best hoe. I mean, he said, if you walking down the street, be at the hoe, be the best hoe on the block."
What?
No, and I was looking at him like, the hell is wrong with him? Talking about be the best hoe. He said but he was like, if you want to be the president, out of all of them, be the best president that you can be.
He was telling you not to half-ass it. That's what he's telling you.
That's all it was.
Don't half-ass it.
Period. He
I
didn't
be
care
saying
what
you
it
gotta
was.
come on,
He didn't
man.
care what it was. Just do it. Put your whole heart into it and be the best one. Okay. My father didn't graduate 8th grade. He went to the 3rd grade, and he listen. Uh, Military, Navy, lied at 14 just to get into the military. So
Yeah.
what kind of life was he leading to have to feel like to make it to get out of where you were? You have to lie at age 14.
Wow.
You know what I mean? So I look at those struggles and I'm like, he was born in 1925. Yeah, 1925. So as a black man then, I could just imagine,
Yeah, that's crazy.
you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
So that's why another reason I'm
Wow.
looking at these kids now, they have no idea, no clue of what's out there because I didn't even realize racism was that prevalent
Right.
until I got out and got grown because I just didn't know. I knew it was bad. I didn't know. And I grew up when Martin Luther King was killed, but I didn't know
Wow.
because you really are not taught. That's another thing you guys weren't taught our real history by the
Yeah.
time you went to high school.
Yeah.
You didn't know nothing. You wouldn't know nothing about how things had changed and how our neighborhoods were targeted.
Oh
You
yeah, if you wasn't taught that, like, it's because growing up, see, my grandfather on my dad's side, they were all Muslim. You know,
mhm,
so at a young age, man, they was making me watch stuff like Roots, and I would always have to listen to Minister Farrakhan, and
right,
and he took me to a Million Man March one time, so they would teach me a lot about our history. You know what I mean? And it was at a young age. It's not like I asked for it, but it was
right.
like, you know what I
But
mean?
those are
Like
things that you needed to know
but
because
they taught me right off the rip. They made sure like that I was knowing what I was dealing with, even though I couldn't physically feel what they felt. You know what I
mhm,
mean? When my ancestors felt, I could kind of put myself there mentally and understand, like, okay, exactly where the times were at. You get what I'm saying?
mhm.
So
Well, that's good. That's good that you had that. See, that's when I say that people they came from something. These kids now, they don't take life seriously because they don't. excuse me, they don't have those people in the background teaching them that your life is worth more. The person next door's life is worth more.
Yeah.
I'm not going to completely blame music, but I blame music and what we put out into the atmosphere. Okay,
Right.
you put out negativity, it's going to come back to you. I don't care how you try to run from it. You can even think something negative.
Right.
I'm learning now that I have to watch my thought. So that means if I have to watch my thought, I have to watch what comes into what I'm taking in also. So
Yeah.
that's why I'm looking at the music. Tell your story. Everybody's got one. Everybody's got one. I
Right.
just feel like the industry, as far as music is concerned, they have an agenda. What part of the agenda are you? Do you want to be part of that agenda? Because what I see, what they pushing now is not good for our kids. It's not good for me.
Everything. See, but the thing is, them folks that sitting in them folks in blue and in our government, oh, they not playing. They
Oh
cracking
no,
down on
no, they're not
all
bringing.
them youngins that's been snitching on themselves and they raps, and they getting them, and they not getting y'all with nothing small, no nothing. No, they
They're
trying
getting
to
hitting
get.
them with
They
RICO
hitting them.
charges,
Yeah, hitting
man.
y'all with Rico. They not playing, man. Like, you know what I mean? And these kids, it's unfortunately like somebody had to go through it, and
Hmm.
it's going down at this moment. And they're gonna continue. And I've been saying this a lot. It really starts from just putting everything on social media. Because at one
Right.
point, I was born in '93, so I was there during dial-up connection. You get
Okay.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I got to see it go from dial up to wireless.
Right.
And when it became wireless, I think a lot of people just started realizing that they could just record everything. And they were just like, you know what? Let's just record this
They
and
recording
put it up.
everything, and but now here's another question. Quick question. Now that we know that people are hitting record and secretly recording, do you find yourself watching what you say when you're on a phone call?
Oh, I always talk in codes. I don't see. I picked this up from the OGs though. I'm like, I know them folks listening, man. They keep thinking it's a game. They out here, okay. You out here with your pounds on live. You out here with your Glocks and your guns and all that. That's
Right.
fine and dandy. You over on live. You scamming folks. You doing that's cool. They gonna let you rock for a little minute, and then
Right.
they gonna come and pick you up. You know
They
what I
come.
mean? So it's like, hey, but I also understand that knowledge is power. So that's another reason why I speak in code all the time. Like I
Mhm.
always, because the more knowledge that you have, it's dangerous. It's really dangerous. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? We could be touching on some points and they be like, oh, I don't like that right there. Go get him. Real
Right.
talk.
No,
Real
you know
talk.
what? And what I have found out, I'm gonna tell you what scares me. I guess that's another reason why I haven't really dove into some of the subjects that I want to talk about, and I really
Yeah.
avoid them, is because people don't want to hear the truth.
Oh,
People,
that
they
hurt
do
right there.
not,
That hurt.
they do not
You say the
want to
truth,
hear the
man.
truth.
They about to be hurt.
Yeah. And so some of the subjects that I want to bring up, y'all not ready to talk about that, like religion.
Yeah.
The Bible as religion as a whole, or adoption or pedophilia. That nobody wants to talk about these things. Nobody wants to
Hey.
talk about the lies that the government is telling you to your face.
Propaganda.
Oh
Remember I was telling you propaganda it's always, but see, that's why I always go back to those times where there wasn't any the source of media was different. Like,
hmm
now it's social media. You know
right.
what I mean? But back then, when you got to think, before we even had TVs, and how did it have to get around? Somebody had to type that up and
But
go drive it to the next town.
nobody's being held accountable for
Yeah.
their lies and the lies that they're putting out and the images that they're putting out. I'm all for love who you want, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart. I want everybody to be okay. I really do. because if you're not okay, that means you're sitting over here like me, but how I feel on the inside, and I
Right.
don't want nobody to feel like how I feel on the inside. Okay, so I want people to be okay, but why is it so hard for you? I found out that people are. It's hard for them to wish the best for you, and
Yeah.
especially if they think that you're getting ahead of them. So
Yeah.
why is this a competition?
Yeah.
Why does everything have to be a competition?
Well,
And
in the music industry, they got this thing called smoke and mirrors.
hmm
And that's how the big look big and the little look little. And and when you're in that little pot, you're fighting so hard to get into that big pot.
I
You're
know.
fighting so hard because you want to be where they at with it, being able to do some of the things. It may not just be the fame. It may be doing something like constructive, like maybe building a show, or just making a movie or anything. It could be
hmm
anything, and they're trying to get in that position, but then the people in the little we in the little pot, we don't realize that it's the smoke and mirror. We right there in the smoke. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
we're not out, we're not the ones that's pulling it. You know what I mean? Like we're the ones that's like getting tricked. You
Okay,
understand?
let
So
me let me ask you this right here. Okay, you see the level that Jay Z. I'm not even talking about his wife. The level that Jay Z reached coming from the street. Is that really something that you really want? I mean, when you think about it, yeah, he may have the money, he may have the woman, he may have the kids, and he may be able to sit in those boardrooms now. But is it really worth it? Is it really worth it to go through? Because right now people still don't see him as a businessman. They still see him as that drug dealing, two bit, whatever they want to throw up, and that goes with you through life, no matter how much good you try to do. Even though I don't think that he might be the greatest person in the world, because you had to step on a lot of people to get where you're at. Are you willing to step on people? That's the question.
I'm willing to step on people. I don't think I'm willing to step on someone willingly, but I also know that when we make certain moves, it kind of we do kind of elevate past the people that don't want to grow. You understand
Mhm.
what I'm saying? So it's like if they don't want to grow with you, then what are you supposed to do? Stop growing?
That's true, but then you know what? I look at the part where if this person has been in my life for a long time,
Yeah,
and opportunities come up for me, how do I get around the guilt of not bringing them along, because they're not really, I know they're not ready, but
yeah,
then you feel that guilt of why would I know the situation they're in, I can't leave them behind, but then if I bring them with me, they're going to destroy everything that I've set up because
yeah,
they don't know how to
yeah.
act.
And that's why you got to leave it behind. Yeah, that's why you have to grow.
How do you get over that guilt?
Um, the way I get, I don't really look at it as guilt, to be honest. Like I kind of look at it now, like, because I'm following God's plan.
Hmm.
And when I'm moving and I'm saying like, okay, so you showing me who this person is, like you're showing me what it is with this person. Now if I keep going back dealing with him and then something happen, that's all on me,
Right.
because you showing me what that is. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yeah, I kind of move like that. Like if it don't work with that plan,
Hmm.
I chop it up to that. Like, hey man, listen, that wasn't in God's plan then, because God's plan is the ultimate plan. Like let's
That's
be
true.
honest.
That's
let's,
true. That's
let's
true. But then
let's be
you
honest.
never know. It's like it pivots. If
Yeah,
you're going to go this your plan
yeah,
is to go this way and do that. But then something to come along and spin you all the way around, and now you're
right,
going this way.
right, 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 right,
So that's the hard time that I have. Okay, I have to actually stop myself, think about it. Okay, this is not good, but what can I make good out of it? What? So it must be something else I should be doing. It must not. It's not this. So it must be something else. So now I'm wondering. Okay, pivot time. How do you handle those pivots? How do you internally
Okay.
handle that?
Yeah.
Okay, they stopped me there. Now I got to figure out a different way. Does it slow you down? Does it just make you
Oh,
just
for
give up?
sure. For sure. It slows you down. But see, me, I'm just very hard headed. You cannot tell me no. You cannot tell me I can't do something. So every day I'm just scratching at that. Like, you know what? There's a way to do this. I don't care if I'm only making the smallest progress at it. At
Right.
least there's progress being made. And then after a while, it starts rolling again. It starts rolling again just through trying, but it is hard to pull yourself up sometimes because I was just there. I was just there last August, you know, and it was very hard to pull myself up. No one knew the severity of my situation. Only I did.
Mhm.
I kept it like that for a reason because there's enemies out there that will use everything against
Well,
you.
I kind of knew that there was something going on,
Yeah,
but by me not being physically there with you, I would not know exactly what's going on, but it was a feeling. That's it. Some strange things are happening with dude because you can, if you pay attention to anybody, if you feel anything for them, when
yeah,
they make a status on Facebook, you're not looking at the status. You're trying to read behind the
right,
story.
right,
You know what's going. Okay, what made him say that? Then something jumped off. So
yeah.
now I got to find out if you're okay.
Yeah.
And that's my question. Are you okay?
Yeah, in this moment, yeah, I'm doing excellent. I'm blessed. Um, I had to conquer a lot of demons to get here. But it was definitely a road to get to this point to where, you know, I am now confident to continue to make just bigger moves, continuing to
Mhm.
chase the
Mhm.
bigger moves and not do the same thing. It's very I fight that battle every day, honestly, not to go back to doing what I was doing. You know, like it's a new year, you turn a new leaf. You understand? And that's where my mindset has been at, and everything that I'm doing, like it's all new. But that's the beauty of it is because you're usually scared of the new. You're scared of the
Yeah,
change.
and guess what? I'm gonna
Yeah,
tell you now, honey.
yeah,
Even when you get to my age, the new will scare you because you
yeah,
don't know what new brings. You know what the old was. You
yeah,
kind of got used to and sewed yourself in with this is the way it is. But then when something new comes, you're like, I don't
yeah,
know. Is
yeah.
that
But
going to
see,
be worse than
being
what I am?
scared.
Yeah.
See,
Is it
what
going
I
to be
learned
worse than what I am now or better?
what I learned is being scared actually is good because, and I also got this advice while I was on tour too. But being scared is good because it teaches you survival, and it teaches you how to survive and in these real messed up situations, and you get hit with something, you gotta adapt real quick. When you're in
Hmm.
survival mode, you usually break through every time. So, and that's why I'm scared of what's to come, but I'm not scared. Like I'm embracing it.
Okay, this is the word I want to ask you how you feel about it. Fame. How do you feel
Yeah,
about the word fame?
I personally don't care for it. Um, because it comes with a lot of power, and not a lot of people care about the responsibility of that power. They don't really care about it. They're just like, all right, so I do got that power, but they don't really care, so they're just gonna tell you anything. So I don't really agree with fame and just the concept of fame. You understand? But
Mhm.
I do like notoriety. You know what I mean? I understand.
Well, wait a minute. Then now there's good notoriety and there's bad notoriety. Like me and you
Yeah,
had this discussion before.
yeah,
You know,
yeah,
just because you heard the name does not mean it's a good person or
right.
they're doing the right thing. You know, because we got some trash running around now. You know, and we I'm not going to bring up the name, but you know exactly what I'm talking about. I can't stand it. I can't stand it. I can't stand it. You know, because
Yeah,
to me, and I've never been a gang member. I've known some. I've been friends with some,
right,
but their lifestyle, I can't get with it because I look. Who are you? Who are you talking to?
right, right,
You
right.
know, if I don't want a white man talking to me crazy, I'm damn sure not gonna let you sitting right next to me talking to me
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah,
To send me see. I've watched the big homie. I've analyzed the big homie.
Right.
The big homie is not your friend. The big homie is to send you out there so you can do the dirty work, and he can say he's got what is it? Soldiers.
Right.
Soldiers do what? Because right now the gang is not what it used to be. You're not taking care of the neighborhood. You're terrorizing it.
Yeah. Nah, I hear you.
So I have to look at things like that. I'm like, who are you surrounding yourself with?
Right.
And it's not like me and you can just be regular friends.
Yeah.
I have to it on a personal level. I can be friends with you, but now I have to watch who you're friends with. Because you can't bring every random person into your life.
Right.
It's not healthy. First of all, because you don't know these people, you don't know what they want. Everybody's out for themselves now.
Oh yeah.
Everybody and it seems like especially when I really dug into this music thing, everybody has an angle.
Mm. Hmm.
And I'm too old to be trying to figure out your damn angle, so I just stay by myself. How do
Right.
you deal with discernment? Do you have when you go into a meeting with these people, you know what you want out of it, but are you having a hard time trying to figure out what they want?
No, because I these days I kind of just know my lane and I stay in it. I don't
Mhm.
try to get out of my lane. So that means that I know fully 100% I am the artist. Like meaning I'm the producer, the engineer, the recorder, the writer, that all that. That's me.
Mhm.
I'm the artist. So if and for example, like if real estate is not me. I'm not jumping into real estate to try to
Right.
deal real estate with them boys. And we talking about some artists. This is what this is. Okay, that's what I'm contributing to. You understand? But then I also understand my rights and my amendments and I I'm able to move correctly, like in a legal way. And that way I always know I'm protected. I always know I'm protected in whatever deal or business dealing I get into. You know what I'm saying? And I'm able to fish out stuff that I don't want to be a part of. You
Right.
get me? Because I'm only focused on this. This is what I want to focus on. So you come talking something that's way out of that. I'm not hearing you. Not on that level, you know what I mean? Maybe one day I might get to that point to where I'm like, all right, yeah, I remember you talking about real estate. So it's 3 years later, 4 years later, hey man, like I can talk to you about real estate. I'm into that now. This is what I want to focus on. You understand? So yeah, that's kind of how I handle it.
I was going to ask you a question that I thought, and my train of thought just left me. Okay, you went on a big tour with
Latitude 28.
all I saw was a 28 in my head. I couldn't even think the first word. Yeah, Latitude 28. You guys went out of the country. Did you feel protected? And I'm asking you as a black male. And it may be just me being paranoid, but you as a black male going out of the country with
Mhm.
these actually strangers,
Yeah.
how do you deal with that as an entertainment and a black man? Do
Um,
you look over your shoulder?
to a certain degree, like you do, but then when you start, it's also like how you said you gotta look at who you're around.
Mm,
Like when you're around people who really bring trouble and drama, that's really when you gotta look around your shoulder the most,
okay.
but then when you get to a point to where it's like a family vibe and you can kind of trust these people with your life in the moment because they're not doing anything stupid to jeopardize your life. You
Right.
understand? So it gets easier. And with latitude, for the most part, that's how it was. It was everybody kind of had a head on their shoulders to where they didn't have to indulge into stupidity and just pure ignorance, for the most part. But just going, like, traveling by myself, like those moments off by myself, you're always gonna look over your shoulder a little bit because you're like when you come into a new area, you're a new face. You know what I mean? It doesn't even matter what country you go to, what state, like you're just a new face. And
Right.
when you're in these other countries, man, like sometimes they don't, you probably don't speak their language. You understand? And then they could be lining you up the whole time,
Exactly.
and,
That that
and you
that
really
was the
don't even
thing.
know.
That was my main thing. Actually, when you don't speak the language,
Yeah.
that makes it to me. I don't know. I guess because I don't like going to unfamiliar places,
Right.
and part of my childhood trauma is I don't go visit people's homes.
Right.
So I don't know how I would deal with because I was actually frightened when Jazz wanted us to go to Texas on her that last performance. I
Right.
was actually feeling like "Ugh, I got to go in a crowd. I mean, an actual crowd of people, and I don't know what that is. It makes me nervous. Amazing. I have a company that I have to deal with people, and I don't like dealing with people. And so
Mm.
that's weird to me. So
Yeah.
that's something I have to get over. I want to know: is there any phobia that you had to get over as far as your up? But let me know like things that you that made you who you are. Is there a phobia? Is there something out there that really frightens you that you had to talk yourself into doing?
Mm.
As far as music is
Oh,
concerned.
oh, that's a good one. I had to talk myself into doing. Um, you know what? Jumping on the road. A lot of artists are scared to do that. Um, and it just took me to really get the courage to be like, yo, it's either I'm gonna do it or I'm not. You know what I mean? Like it goes back to what your dad was saying with, you gotta be the best at it. So like I knew that I couldn't half ass it. So
Right,
when I kept because I was selling beats and I was making money in Orlando. And I was in Virginia at the time because remember I told you I moved around like an army brat,
right,
and I'm in Virginia at the time, and my money's coming from Orlando. So then it clicked to me. I'm like, I need to get to Orlando, but I didn't have a place to stay. I didn't have money saved up. I had nothing really, So what I did was put together a package of music, and then I made a sell, and then I jumped on that mega bus and hit it down to Orlando.
right.
and then and then from there it was just back and forth on the megabus, going up and down the
Oh, so
states.
you was riding the megabus?
Yeah, up and down with the megabus.
Okay.
I barely had anything. I probably have like $20 in the city when I touched down, probably like $20, and that's enough for me to get something to eat
How do
or
y'all travel from city to
whatever.
city with not having no money? How
Hey,
do y'all do
listen,
that?
because if you get there, you can make the money. All you got to do, because my OG told me half the battle was getting there. Like, you know what I mean? And then when I get there, because, like, say for instance, like, I know something's going down in Atlanta. I'm like, okay, I need to get to Atlanta. I'm going to spend everything to get out here to Atlanta because I know that's the move. When I
Right.
get there, I'm not leaving without something in my pocket. You understand what I'm not
Okay.
leaving.
Okay.
But see, it's with me, I was smart with just hustling little things like beats, CDs, flash drives, whatever, like
Mhm.
little things, because I know for that's a legit hustle. Some people get out here and they'll knock somebody over for it.
Right.
They'll snatch a purse for it. But me, I was like, nah, I'll just hustle what I got, man. I don't like it don't matter, but I know I gotta be there though. That's the most important part. So I would catch Spirit Airlines, Megabus, like everywhere, everywhere. And then I eventually ended back up in Virginia, and then I ran back into my people. Shout out to them, Frank, Noisy, all of them, you know what I'm saying? Like, and we would jump on the road and just hit it. Like we would go to New York, Alabama, Atlanta, Orlando. We would just hit it. We would drive. And then it got to a point where I was homeless for the very last time, and I ended up downtown Orlando. And then
Okay.
that's when I hustled out of that. I hustled out of that and landed on Latitude 28, and it was up. it was up. It was just like, all right, now it's no more of that. But it took for me to just really have the courage to say, no, I'm gonna like do it. You know what I mean? Like I'm gonna jump
That's
out here and get
good.
it
You
done.
know what? That's when you have like-minded people around you.
Yeah,
That's the thing. You could when everybody's like-minded and they're on the same page, things go so much better.
yeah,
They flow so much easier. It's just that the groups for some reason tend to fall apart. You start out as a team,
yeah.
but then there's always somebody that's in the background fucking it up for everybody.
Hmm.
And that's the part that I don't like because there were certain things that were supposed to take place before my baby passed away. And she had been waiting on people to do, I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do that and I'm gonna do this because you're sweet tonight and you're my,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah, yeah,
line your ass up because you want to, you just running your mouth.
yeah. This is gonna be a part of the conversation.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? When you
Right,
know you're not about to do shit. That's the thing that gets me with people. They like to run their mouth and not keep. You let her down, being honest.
yeah,
She left here without you doing what you claimed that you had never met her. So stop saying you love her.
yeah,
That, for me,
yeah.
you know what I mean. You had okay. So what? You talked to her a couple of times. Stop saying you were close to her when you don't even keep up with what you said you were going to do. That's
Right,
how come when me and you were talking in the background about certain people doing certain things, I was like, don't ever,
right, 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 right,
because I was forced to learn how to do graphics.
right,
I was
right,
forced to learn. That's what I feel good about that because I'm not mad at you. I just don't mess with you anymore.
right, 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 right.
Okay, but on the other hand, you being who you are forced me to learn how to do my own graphics. Okay, I'm not the greatest, but I went and found the way to do it myself.
Right.
That brings me to this guy that I think is one of the best underestimated, underrated rappers out there, which is Russ. Know the artist Russ?
Yeah.
You tell me no, me and you gonna fight. I'm gonna fly the way you are. We're gonna
No,
fight.
I know Russ. I know Russ.
Jazz turned me on to him. And I heard that song. The first song I heard was "Fuck It, I'll Do It Myself."
Yeah.
And I'm like, and I listened to the words, and I was like, I get it. And then when I watched the interview, he explained it. You have to, as an artist, you have to learn how to do everything yourself,
Mhm.
especially if you want to be successful. Because if you tell somebody, I need graphics, and they tell you, well, it's going to take about 2 or 3 weeks. But if you already know how to do them, you
Yeah.
already know it don't take that long.
Yeah.
So they can't charge you. You can't charge me for that because it's not going to take you that long. And if you know how to produce, no producer can come and tell you, no, it can't be done because you may not be perfect, but you know that this can be done.
Yeah.
Even if just what I appreciate about you is that you're learning how to do it yourself.
Yeah.
Even if you have to delegate it sometime later, you know what your expectations are of that person because you've done it yourself. Don't you feel better knowing that you can actually do these things yourself and not rely on?
Yeah. Yeah. No, I really do. Like, I feel like um it goes back to what my dad was telling me, like, if you really want to do, like, if you want to be a rapper, like, you got to have the whole package. Like,
Right,
he would tell me that from the jump, like, because I would try to rap over like YouTube beats and all that, and get around the system to be an artist. But then he was like, nah, just do your own shit. And I was like maybe 13 or 14 years old getting that advice from him, you know what I mean? So I didn't really take it serious until I was 18, like actually going in, like trying to make sure I was making hits and doing it.
mhm,
And it was just, yeah, it was a lot, but you got to go through that process. Like
right,
you have to go through that process, even if you ain't the best at it. I mean, you're right. You have to learn because then you'll know exactly what you're paying for. You understand
right.
like what you're paying for. You can understand that. So, I totally agree with that whole segment you just did. That's why I didn't really want to say nothing. I was like, nah, you saying it. You know what I mean?
No, but
That's the same.
and I'm not an artist. I just sit back and I watch what you guys go through. Well, at least from what I saw my daughter going through,
Yeah.
and some of it is like, what the hell, I mean, you really going through a lot to do something you love. That's how come I want you to be successful, because you're going through a lot. You're doing what you love, but people are making it hard for you when it doesn't have to be. Now, then my next question for you was, and then we're gonna kind of wrap it up a little bit so you can go on with your life. But
Yeah.
as far as these artists concerned, as legalese, before they give their music to anybody,
Mhm.
what would you tell them to do as far as protecting themselves?
Um, First off, make sure that you are a business. You know what I mean? Make sure your actual like brand is a business. Trademark that brand. And then copyright your work, and make sure you're keeping up with all of the paperwork. You have to have that on you at all times, whether that's in a e-file or a regular file. Like, keep that on you. So
Now, would you suggest that they do that before they sign the first deal? Is to make sure their trademark, copyrighted. Even would you make?
oh yeah, yeah.
Okay, they should do that before they even make the first deal, right?
Yeah, but yeah, that you if you don't do that, you're just gonna be taking anything. You're gonna be willing to accept anything. Somebody can tell you 30,000, and you just gonna, yeah, man, I'm gonna sign 3 albums for 30,000. Like, that's what you gonna do.
Right,
And
right.
nah, you need to have all that done, so you can have some type of bargaining power. Like, I don't, you think you got to just take the first deal? It's like you going through, you got to come back with an offer or something. Like, hey, man, this is what I really want.
So hypothetically, since we talking about you threw out the 20,000 number. Hypothetically, if somebody came to you with the deal and they said, "Well, I can't give you money up front,
Mhm.
but I can push your music out to where it needs to be."
If they couldn't push it, if they could give me the money up front for the single deal,
Mm-hmm.
and they would just push it,
Mm-hmm.
that depends. Do they
See,
have?
you're already see the reason I said this because
Cause,
you're already doing everything yourself.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
You're already producing your music. You're already uh 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 um, what is it mastering your music. I mean, you're doing it all yourself.
right, right, right,
This
right.
is your finished. You have the finished product, but you don't have an outlet.
Yeah, yeah,
Is it okay to take that deal when you couldn't put the music out yourself?
yeah.
But there's somebody that can get it out there. Do you feel like it's okay to take a deal with that person just to see what it maybe if it has a time limit on it to see what they can produce for you?
Yeah, well, what's with single deals? So the first thing I'd be wondering about is where the budget's coming from. Because if they don't have it, then I don't have it. Then we don't got the budget. So it'd be like,
What if they
yeah,
weren't going to tell you where the budget came from? Now you're digging into a hole. You don't know what rabbit hole you're going down.
right, 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 right.
You know what I mean?
Because I don't know.
Because
So
there are
I
people out
guess you're
there. There are
asking,
people out there that I didn't seen them. They out there. They willing to give money, but you don't know where the money is coming from.
right, 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 right. So I thought I was thinking that you were asking. So basically, you're asking, like, if someone was to offer a deal
Without giving you any front money though. Still without giving you any front money.
without an
Right,
advance is what you're saying,
right.
without an advance, and they're just willing to push it out. It just depends on the how credible the source is. That's it. I mean, because if it's credible, then yeah, like, I think that is, I mean, you still have to watch with the percentages of what they're taking and everything. Like, you still have to figure that out and do the math on that. So, but I don't see why not, if they didn't want to give you an advance, but most people would. Most people would.
Right, right. So what mistake would a person make? Okay, like just say you had all your stuff copywritten already, but now you sign this deal. Have you messed up by copywriting your stuff first, or you let them copyright it?
No, you having your stuff, owning your all of your stuff is giving you the right to bargain, because
Okay.
you own it. You know what I
Right.
mean? It's yours legally. It is
Right.
yours. And then some of these people, they'll when they sign you, if you don't have that done, they'll get that done for you.
But they'll take it from you at the same time.
And guess what you got to do to get it back?
Fight.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so you might as well do that. Just get it done. It's expensive, it's definitely expensive to keep up with everything, because you have to have your LLC. You gotta have certain things that you're paying for in taxes and
Let's talk
stuff
about the
like that.
trademark. Let's talk about the trademark.
Yeah,
Trademarking your name and your image
right.
may be out of reach for some people now, because a lot of these artists don't even work a part-time job.
Mhm.
And then with the economy the way it is, it's hard already. It's just already a struggle,
Right.
So what would be the first thing you would do? Okay, say you only had $300. What would be the
Right.
first thing heavy metal would do to protect himself?
$300.
Yeah, if you only had 300,
Uh,
I'm talking in real numbers. I'm not. I'm talking
you
real
could.
numbers.
I would. You could trademark. You could trademark, like, it'd probably be like a logo or something. Like, you can trademark the logo, and then also, what else could I do with that, man? I could do a lot with 300. I ain't even gonna lie to you. I didn't
Really,
lie to you, because just some of the codes. Like, if I wanted to sell that logo, I would have to get a code for that, UPC code for that. Uh, yeah, I would go crazy with 300. Like, I ain't even gonna lie to you, because it's just putting the back end in play for you to do something. Like, after you get the back end in play, man, sell it, do whatever you're gonna do with it. You know what I mean? But at
hmm
least you got protection on whatever that is. So,
right?
in other words, what I was trying to say is that taking that $300, you can break it down between UPC, copyright, trademark. You know what I'm saying? Like, just breaking it down throughout that, and you should be fine. You're probably gonna need a little bit more than 300, but 300 will
Well, I'm
definitely get
talking
you
about.
going.
See, I'm talking about from.
Yeah,
I'm coming from the broke end, bro.
yeah,
So
yeah, yeah,
I'm coming from the broke end. When I say there are people that just live on a single amount for a month, they're trying their best to get out of their situation, but this is all they get, and
I
then
mean, as far,
the
yeah, you
rent.
can do, but there's so much you can do with $300. I mean, you can get your own T-shirts made, sell those. You can, man, like stickers. Some people get rolling trays, grinders, uh, headphones. I've seen it, flash drives. You know what
Right.
I mean? Arts and crafts. I just seen people do some crafty stuff. I mean, and then if you really slick with it, you could probably buy you a nice computer and a mic and a webcam, and then go live and do these
I
types of.
actually have. You know what? When you brought that up just now, I actually have a little webcam thing sitting here. I have it, but I haven't. I'm not a technical person, so I got all these things that I purchased, and see that's part of. I'm glad that it's an LLC because you can't write these things off.
Yeah,
People don't understand that once they become an LLC, the things that you work with, you can actually use as a text write off.
yeah.
And which I didn't even realize there's the world actually opens up to you if
Hmm.
you make an LLC.
Hmm.
Because we
There's a
talk
lot of
about
stuff.
buying land
Yeah,
and and having our own, just getting out
yeah.
the way.
Certain
You know,
licensing. Some people don't even understand certain licensing that you need, especially in the music industry. You can't even apply for without an LLC. So,
right?
you know what I'm saying?
There were
Like,
certain things you were telling me, and I was like, "You mean to tell me, okay,
you
I
can't
do a
even
podcast? I didn't know I need to have that. I didn't know I
you
need to have
can't
that.
even yeah,
Wait a
you
minute,
can't
wait a
even
minute."
have it if you don't got the, some licensing and everything. Yeah, you need that. I mean, we can go down that conversation all day, because that's what I be telling people. I'm telling them that, hey man, do a LLC, a DBA, do what you got to do. Let's
Now,
get
see,
started.
that's another show that I want to do. I want to get with people that have really deal with the legalese as
Yeah.
far as getting everything in order, because there are certain things I don't know how to do.
Hmm.
That I don't want to fill the paperwork out wrong.
Yeah.
Because you can't screw yourself over, because I had actually forgot some things on my original
Did
application
you
for my license, for my LLC.
did you get
So,
an attorney?
huh?
Did you get an attorney?
No, I did it myself.
Oh man, nah. I want you
Yeah,
to
I
get
did
an
it myself.
attorney. I want you to try to get an attorney.
Yeah, I did.
Mhm.
Now I know I need one. I've already been looking at entertainment lawyers here in the city where I'm at. But the thing is, like I said, it's the income that stops you from,
Yeah,
because, if anything comes up around the house, we still have
yeah,
to live,
yeah.
on a day to day basis. So I look at my medication. I look at, okay, do the dogs have enough food? Is there some rice in there? Damn, I can't cook today because we'll have, certain things,
I understand that. Yeah, for
stop
sure.
you.
For sure.
And I'm trying to figure out that people are actually living off different streams of income.
Yeah,
I'm trying to figure out where do I want to go with it. And I know that these kids with this music, if I'm having a hard time figuring it out, and I'm just doing a podcast trying to get their music heard, or do some real conversations like we're having now, because there's more to just getting behind the mic and letting it rip.
yeah, yeah, for sure.
Because I didn't realize that somebody could possibly take the name of your stuff until I really went and got my stuff licensed and registered.
Yeah, yeah,
You know, and then when you telling me that it can be heard anywhere and I'm not getting paid, I'm like, well, how do I know? Then you gave me the websites,
yeah,
which I
yeah,
appreciate that, because I had no idea. So everybody can learn from everybody, especially if they're on the same journey. You want to be an artist. I
right.
want to be a person that pushes the artists out there. I'm not an artist. I can't sing a lick. I can't rap a lick. But I enjoy music. But I want to showcase the ones that are working hard, like you,
Yeah,
and see you rise to another level. It's just that the money aspect of getting my own mess together.
yeah,
So
yeah,
that,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, so that's the hard
And
part.
see, it's tricks. It's tricks to the trade. It's tricks
It's
to the trade.
tricks.
I'm starting to learn it out here too. I mean, there's all sorts of things. Had I would have had this done a while ago, I could have been. I could have applied for a PPP loan and actually did something with
You did.
that.
I'm glad you did not. I'm so glad you did not touch that, because I had a person jump in my inbox and they was, I can get you a PPP loan and get you $30,000, and come to find out they were scamming people. They were getting these loans in people's names, and now they're going to jail and got the government coming after them.
Yeah,
Everybody, just because you are a business, if you don't have proof that you had 30 workers and all this stuff, these people are just lying just to get this money. And now a lot of them are ended up in jail. So how do you go about not doing the wrong thing? Just even though you got you you're doing the right thing, but you're doing the wrong thing to do the right thing. Does that make sense?
mhm.
You're going about it illegally. You want to do the legal stuff, but you're doing the illegal stuff.
Yeah. No, that's why I don't. That's why I was confused, because it was like, because I cut literally everything illegal out of my life. Like, it's just
Okay.
literally everything. The most illegal I'll get is smoke some weed. Like, that's the most illegal.
Right.
You know
Right.
what I mean? But I literally, everything gotta be freaking legal. If it ain't that, man,
It's not working. It's not
what
going
we
to work.
doing?
And people don't understand when you don't have a contract. If you don't have a signed contract, it's not a legitimate deal. You used to go by word of mouth. Shake hands because you stand on your word, but Means absolutely nothing. These kids need to know that. They need to understand just because somebody tell you they're going to do something does not mean they're going to do it.
Right.
You know, everybody lies. I don't care what the label is, Republican, Democrat, mother, father, uncle, preacher. Everybody can lie.
Right.
You have to know and be able to tell the difference. You know, I know you want to be trust. You want to trust everybody, which that's something I learned. You can't. You cannot trust everybody because everybody does not have your best interest at heart.
At all.
You know,
At all.
I know you sit around with people, right? I know you sat around with people that had this experience where you thought they were on your team
Yeah.
and they really weren't. They had a whole totally different agenda.
Exactly. Yeah. No. Exactly. Because it's just you're gonna run into that everywhere you go in life, though. Like kind of like Bob Marley said, every day is a war. Straight
Have
up.
you have you have you ever cut off anybody that you regretted cutting off, but then you're glad you cut them off, but then you feel some type of way that you had to cut them off?
Uh, Regretted cutting them off, no, but definitely feeling some type of way cutting them off, yeah, because it's like, you don't want to do that, but it goes back to what we were saying earlier. Like, I don't willingly step on people, but if they don't want to grow, you can't stop growing. You have to continue growing. So, and that's just bottom line. you
And-
know, I'll leave it where it's at, and then one day you probably will grow, and then we'll be able to have a conversation again.
right, right, right. Because I'm quite sure there are people you had to cut off,
Oh
and
yeah,
that's where I'm at now. After Jasmine's death, I had to make a decision that okay, it's time to cut some cords. You know, because you want your life to go a different way,
right.
and in order for it to go a different way, you have to change up. Everybody's not ready for change.
Nah, nah. But you got to. I embrace it now. I embrace all the change. Everything that's going on right now is new, so it's very.
Hmm.
But the change is good
Right.
because we went through the trials and tribulations to get to this point. You know what I mean? So now we should be able to get out here and conquer those demons that we weren't able to before.
You know, I was looking at thinking about my daughter, and she had people that we had people that used to be around all the time. That's why I was sitting there. They had been around for years. The word fair weather friend comes to mind. They're only around when they can get something from you, or
Yeah,
when it's convenient for them.
yeah,
You know, so I guess that part when it comes to cutting people off, it hurts, but you know that they weren't there for you in the first place.
yeah,
You were only a convenience. And the
yeah,
messed up part is I was a convenience for a lot of people. You know what I mean? They weren't there for me. They weren't there
yeah,
for my daughter. They were there because we were convenient and they knew what type of people we were.
yeah.
If we had a dollar, we was gonna share it.
And
You
we
know,
still are convenient. You know what I'm saying? Like it doesn't stop. It does. That's one thing about life. It just don't stop, and it's continuously fighting all of these demons every day.
I
Every day.
mean, an everyday struggle.
Yeah,
It's an everyday. No, people don't understand that it's hard to put on a good face when you are dying on the inside.
yeah.
How do you go out for a show? Because I know that every show that you have, you weren't in a great mood before you went on that stage.
Mm. Um. I just before I even go to the show, like maybe a week out, or sometimes I have a week. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And I just continue to just practice and just go hard on my own. You know what I
Right.
mean? So when I get in front of those people, I know what I'm doing. So it doesn't feel like, oh, I don't know what I'm doing. Like I'm out here and there's a bunch of people that's looking like, nah, I know what I'm doing because I already done practiced. I used to
Mhm.
do the mirror practice, the on stage practice. I would use like old like rundown areas like it's nothing but open space rocks.
Mhm.
You know what I'm
Oh,
saying? Nothing but rocks, and it's 2 o'clock in the morning, and I'm going in till 4 a.m. You know what I mean, just to make sure, that I got my performance down, and then that's what gives me the confidence to just walk in any crowd, because it don't matter what atmosphere I'm in, I'm gonna be able to rock it. Because
Now let
like,
me. Now I've heard your music. I've heard your
yeah.
music. What genre of rap would you call it? Because I gave it its own name myself. So
Heavy metal trap.
I know.
That's
No. I know it's heavy metal trap,
yeah.
but I call it rage rap because of
Rave
the.
rap.
I call it rage rap. A couple of songs that you had, I call it rage rap because of the mob pit and the dive off the stage and all that extra. That
Yeah,
to me, it's a lot like a combination of rock music and rap
yeah.
that you do.
Oh, okay. So I kind of call it trap rock then, if you're saying it like that, trap
Okay.
rock. Yeah, because it's like I take the trap, I take the trap form, and also the essence of the bars from trap music, and I mix it with the melodies of heavy metal and the screams, and also just the atmosphere of it. So it kind of is, it's like I'm mixing trap with rock at the same time. So that's why I called it trap rock. And I believe there's other people who's been doing it for a minute. Like, I mean, if you really want to talk about it, Trippy Red has been doing it. XXX Tentacion.
Mhm.
There's a few other artists too. But I always consider it as like trap rock, because it's kind of a blend of rock and trap.
It's
And,
such
and
high energy. You have a lot of high energy because I was
yeah,
watching a couple of your performances. I was like, yeah, you have to be in good shape because
yeah,
you have to be in really good shape. That was one thing that Jazz said. She said, "Ma, after running around this stage, it lets me know I have to get my health in order." How is your health?
right now, I couldn't tell you. Like, I got to get back on that stage to see. But when I was touring back to back like that, I wasn't. I was healthy. I was eating, and I was also doing my own little stuff, like with cigarettes, and that kind of hurts you. But back then it wasn't an issue. Like, I would go in and just kill whatever show. But when it got to the point to where I had to do 2 hour shows, that's when I really got put to the test.
Right,
And that doing that over and over, just practice makes perfect. So as you're going along, it just continues to get better. So it goes back to what I was saying, with just practice, just continue to practice, like, even when no one's looking, because that's the moment that matters the most.
right,
Yeah,
right. You're absolutely right because even I thought I would be able to come in here and just well, actually, I'm doing it now. I just wanted to be a free spirit as far as the podcast was concerned. I didn't want to be structured
right.
because I feel like when you're structured, you're not being real, and you can put in,
Yeah,
lies and stories. But I want people to feel like they're having a real conversation, you know,
right,
and they're talking about real topics.
right,
People don't that nobody's mentioning, or maybe if they're mentioning it, we're doing it in a different way. So no, I don't do any prep or anything like that. Now we talk all the time, so those are the
right,
people I
right,
want to
right, right,
listen.
right.
So you basically know how I'm going to come.
There
I'm
you
not going
go.
to put nobody's business out there. You tell what you want to tell. Me,
Yeah,
I'm an open book.
yeah,
I don't care who's going to do anything about it anyway. That's the way I
yeah,
feel about it. You
yeah.
know, um, I just want to help people get their feelings out there
Oh
because
yeah, for sure.
these artists are going through some things. Mental illness is a very big deal to me. I deal with a lot of it myself. I wouldn't call myself sick, but I have some issues that I have to work through because it stops you in life. If you don't deal with those mental issues, it will stop you from growing.
Right,
And everybody needs to grow.
right,
Even at 59, there are things I need to learn how to reprogram myself,
right,
reprogram my thinking. So that's the journey I'm on now, spiritually. Not I'm not a Christian. I will not say that I'm that, but I know there's more to life than what it is right now. And I know that if I want to see my daughter again, I need to stay on the path that I'm on.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
so that's what I mean. If I reach out to you, it's out of love. It really is, because I try not to hold hate in my heart, because she didn't have it.
Right.
You know. So how do you go through life without hardening your heart against people? Have you had that situation where they've hurt you, but you still want to be a good person, but you want to be a bigger person, but you don't want to get used.
Mhm.
So
Um, I always kind of watch him. I just kind of watch him from a distance. Like, all right, like, I'm gonna watch you because I know it's not all the way. It's not you're not all the way there for whatever you're doing. And there needs to be some surveillance. My bad. But so I just continue to just watch him and continue to make sure that I'm not worried about nobody else but me. Like, I'm worried
mhm.
about what I gotta do. So I have to do that. And as long as I'm worried about that, most of the time I ain't thinking about them. But if they do cross my path, I'm watching them.
So
Like,
tell me, what are you working on now? What are you working on now?
right now, Chef Life 2. Chef Life 2 is supposed to be dropping real soon. I ain't gonna drop a date because I feel like that's outdated, but you know,
Right.
it's definitely dropping this real soon. I ain't gonna say no date, but
You're gonna let me
that's
hear.
that's pretty
You're
much the
gonna let me
thing.
hear it before it come out, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Can I hear it
that's
before it come out?
yeah, you can hear it. You can hear it. Other than that, just tours, revamping. I had to revamp everything. Like, I had to revamp my merch, and it was actually good because now I have new and better items now. You know what I mean? I
Mhm.
have those coming in, and then our website is getting redone and everything. Like, so I turned like a whole new leaf. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not trapping anymore. Like,
Okay.
they slept on your boy. Like, nah, I ain't
Right.
trapping no more. Like, I'm
Right.
I'm all the way legit. So, I'm excited to take this journey to the next level. And anything that I put out is gonna be top tier and well thought, well crafted, and yeah, we're gonna be innovative. Like, that's it.
Now, your website, did you go to an outside source, or are you building it yourself?
Right now, I have to build it myself because I want to make sure everything's implicated that I want to implicate it. I have a couple of colleagues that actually do web design and they deal with app design and stuff like that. So whenever I run into questions, I can ask them, and probably get the information I need or not. They might tell me to read about it, but
Okay.
just figuring out how to do that on my own at this point. You know what I mean? Along with all the other back end that comes with it. So yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah,
Okay. That's now, see, that makes sense, because I have a website that I've already got the thing, but I just have that one in there, and it's like a deer in headlights when I go and look. So that's why I was asking the question: are you doing it yourself, or did you outsource that
yeah.
job?
I did want to outsource it. I'm not gonna lie to you. I wanted to outsource it to save time.
Hmm.
Um, but the more that I started diving into the legality of everything, the more I wanted to learn how to do it myself, because I'm like,
Right.
I don't want you to do it, because then if you make this mistake and all this, I just want to see what it is, even if it ain't that great the first time around. You know what I mean? Just to see
Isn't it
how
isn't
to
it kind of isn't it kind of scary to put your dream in somebody else's hand?
Yeah, no, it is. It is your ideas alone, because
Yeah.
people will just take your ideas and run with it. It happens to me all the time. But
Okay.
so for me, I just I watch him. Like I said, like I'll give you the 50, and then I'll see if you run with the 50. If you run with the 50, that's on you. I saw
Okay.
I saw it coming from a mile away. But then the people who usually really rock with me on that level, they usually get the whole 100, and they understand, like, okay, this idea right here is exactly what we need to be talking about, because it's going to do what we're saying. and
Mhm.
and 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 I say only special people get to that point,
Okay.
because it's like because if you're able to get past the 50, I'm like, all right, like, let's throw the whole thing at you.
Okay.
And then, yeah, that's usually how that go. But yeah, that's how I deal with anything in business at this point now, I try to make sure that I'm not telling, it's not putting all your eggs in one basket. Like I'm not telling it all, before you even, you know, it's kind of like I used to be a telemarketer, right?
Okay. Okay.
And
Me
you
too.
know, and I would pitch and I would get so good that my guy, he would have to come behind me and close. So it's like a two-step process that I feel
Right.
like it's a two-step process. So I know, all right, so if I'm telling you an idea, all right, let me tell you the first little, this is the first one. Let's see if we can get this going. All right, we can get this going. Now we can get the other thing. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? Like that,
Right.
that's how I treat it. So, and that's why I always get on people about, how they put themselves out in the media, how they put
Mhm.
themselves out to be, you know what I mean, how they talk and how they do certain things. Because one, like, you got one time with a lot of people and they look at you and be like, whatever, they might come across their desk again years later, you know what I mean, but once they see it once, they're kind of just like, I don't really want to deal with that. They don't even care what the politic is. They don't
Right.
care what the politic is. They just see that and they're like, in their brains, they're like, nah, that's not what I want to focus on. They're working on their mental health, you know?
Right.
So, yeah,
Right. That's another part of this podcast is because at the same time I'm talking about mental health, I'm actually working on my own.
yeah,
Because there are days that I'm paralyzed or I don't even want to get out of bed. But you still have to get up and make a movement.
right.
And it's some I had to work myself into even getting back into a studio or behind a mic.
Mm,
Even though I cleaned the studio out, I brought the material back out and just set it up somewhere else. Okay, you got to do it. You put all this money into it, equipment, uh, uh, paying for subscriptions to make sure that your live is right. Why are you letting things go 9 months
mm,
without just? I'm just looking at the equipment and walking past it. You know, knowing that there's something out there for me to say. How do you get yourself when you're in that depression? Because I know you go through that depressive state.
hmm.
How do you get yourself out of it?
Um, just really talking to God and then just asking for the strength to continue on that same path. Just looking at what I done right, what I did wrong, and try to expand on what I've done right.
Mhm.
And then that's where I put most of my focus when I'm in those times. Like, yo, all right, so I did this.
I can't hear you, darling. Your mic went out. Your mic went out. Say something. Hello? Your mic went out, darling. Oh, we think we lost Heavy. I think we lost Heavy, guys. Did we lose you, dear? You're still there.
Are you able to hear me?
Oh, now I can hear you now. Would you?
I can't even hear you. Should I come out and come back in?
No, you can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can't even hear you at this point. I think that phone call.
The phone call. The phone call cut us off. Are you back? I can still
I
see you
think
though.
I think people calling my phone messing it up. They messing it up for me.
Yeah. So what we're gonna do is going to end our
No, I
conversation.
still can't hear you. I'm trying to figure out how I get you back.
That's a
Hold on.
shame, guys. I knew I had a feeling there's something like this, but it's real life. Things happen. What I'm going to do is I'm going to continue this conversation with Heavy.
I'm trying to figure it out. You
And
laughing? I'm trying to figure it out.
it's a shame, but we're live right now, and real things are really happening here, and we're trying to figure it out. So, guys, I really want to appreciate you for stopping by. It's always something, man. Look at my baby. Look at his face. He doesn't know what he's doing. He doesn't even know how to get this fixed right now. So I want to thank
Can
everybody
I
for.
try to can I try to get out and then come back in?
Yeah, why don't you try that? Try that. Yes.
All right, let me
Yes.
see. Let me
Yes.
see.
Yes. you guys have me for right now. How you doing? Thanks for stopping by. We're going through a few technical difficulties while Heavy is trying to get his sound fixed. So, yeah, I am really. I had a feeling. I had a feeling this was going to happen. But like I said, if we can't get everything fixed, I'm not going to hold you here. And I'm going to thank you guys for stopping by and catch us next time. But could you please follow, like, share, and make a comment? Send me a story. Maybe it's something we could talk about. But today, I just need you to love each other and take care of yourself. And hopefully I'll see you again next time. Thanks for stopping by Conversation with Friends. I want to thank my special guest, Heavymetal Trvp. I want to thank him for stopping by and giving me his life story. And I'm going to catch up with him again on the next Conversation with Friends. You guys have a lovely day.
Do you want to be in love with a real